I want to invite you to really get comfortable. Get comfortable. I recommend that your feet be flat on the floor and that your back is supported. And the reason why I suggest this is because this way you can really ground. Now, if you're lying down, or if you're sitting on a bed or sitting cross-legged, that's fine as well, as long as you really feel your body on the surface that you're sitting. So I invite you to just arrive. And at this point, you can go ahead and close your eyes. Just make sure your back is supported and that you're really comfortable. And I'm actually going to keep my eyes open only because I need to see if people are coming in so I can let them into the room. But for you, allow yourself to just give yourself the space to close your eyes, to turn your attention inward, and to begin to deepen your breath. Now, there's nothing special that you need to do. Just simply become aware of how you're breathing and allow yourself to gently take a longer, gentler, and deeper breath into your lungs. And you want to create the sensation that you're actually expanding in your lungs as you're breathing in, opening up the chest. And that as you exhale in your own time, that you actually deflate your belly, you deflate that expansion in your chest. And however you're breathing is perfectly fine right now. Some people like to breathe in through the nose. And just connecting to the sound of your own breath and maybe exhaling out through your mouth. And so I invite you to just connect to the sound of your breath as you continue to breathe in. And as you breathe out. And at this point, see if you can allow your body to get really still, just really connecting to the sound of your breath, regardless of any other sounds that may be coming through the phone line, the computer, or maybe in your space. And so tune into that sound of your breath, just allowing yourself to breathe a little deeper, a little fuller, expanding in your lungs, expanding in your chest. And in a continuous wave of breath, allowing yourself to exhale completely and fully. And I want you to begin to relax your shoulders away from your ears, just letting your arms hang. And finding that rhythm with your breath as you inhale all the way into your lungs, expanding your chest, sending that breath into your belly. And when you're ready, just seamlessly allowing yourself to exhale, fully and completely relaxing your shoulders, your arms, and your back. And so just allowing yourself to find that rhythm with your inhale and with your exhale. And so just breathing for a few more cycles of breath in that way, breathing in and just connecting to your breath as you breathe out. And so we're just going to continue 3 more breaths this way. And wherever you are, just allowing yourself to feel your body get still and more still. And without forcing and without pushing, just allowing a little bit more oxygen in through your nose and sending it down into your belly. And whenever you exhale, just letting your body weight fall. And just beginning to really feel that the seat or the surface, wherever you're sitting, is really holding you up, that there's nothing that you need to do. Really expanding in the lungs and in the belly as you breathe in. Really relaxing your shoulders, your belly, your body weight as you breathe out. And so in this moment, ask yourself to call back your thoughts to call back your mind, to join your body. And just simply silently in your mind, saying to yourself, I call my mind back. I call my thoughts back. I call my presence back here to this moment, to this space, to be one with my body. And just taking a deep breath into that. And on the exhale, just relaxing the whole body, letting it all the way out, feeling your feet on the ground, maybe beginning to move some toes, maybe beginning to move your fingers, and taking the palms of your hands and soothing them over your thighs and over your knees, rolling your shoulders back, rolling them forward, maybe giving your neck a couple of gentle rotations in one direction, and then giving your neck the same rotations on the other side. And very gently and slowly, just beginning to open your eyes, beginning to take a look around you, take a look at the room, and just really noticing, taking in maybe the lights, the colors, the shapes of your space. All right, so welcome to this virtual ritual, how to stay spiritual and connected, even when you're feeling isolated and maybe scared, or just simply wanting to heighten those feelings of connection. So before I go on, I want to make sure that we're good, that you can hear me and that you can see me, that we're all good with the tech side. So I'm going to ask that you actually type in the chat box just yes, so that I know that we're all good. And that would be very helpful to me. All right, so today I'm going to share with you some practices that I use on a daily basis. So for those of you that are new to me, my name is Monica Maria Aparicio. I'm a native New Yorker. I'm coming to you live from Kew Gardens, Queens. And I am a spiritual teacher and a business mentor to other leaders. And really my path has been one of the healer. I started off 13 years ago. When I was still a teacher and doing part-time health coaching. So I love. Thank you so much for typing in yes and letting me know that we're good to go. I love to be able to share this information because I believe that truly we're all here to really learn from one another and that we all have things to share. We all have wisdom to share. So it's so wonderful that you're here. One of the things that I thought of is how easy it can be to feel disconnected. And sometimes even when you're around other people, when you're surrounded by other people, you can just feel overwhelmed and just not really feel like you're fully there, or you're just in the process of trying to cope. And this goes for daily life. This is like regular life stuff. You can just feel that there's a lot going on, a lot of stimulus, and at some point, we tend to check out, or we tend to create a distance that just allows our mind to relax in some way or another, right? And there's different levels of that. I think this is why some people can tend to abuse alcohol, drugs, food, whatever it is, right? But the idea is that, especially now, as we're going through truly like massive global shifts. I don't think that anybody here would disagree with that, right? Like, we're going through massive global shifts. It's so important to be able to create a really strong foundation for yourself so that you can always come back to certain practices, to certain things that are going to help you to feel secure. They're going to help you to feel grounded, like, I'm here, I'm present, I'm fully present, because that's what's going to allow you to make decisions, maybe choices that you need to make on the spot or quickly, and truly make the best decisions for yourself and for the people around you, right? So this is just something that is a tool that you're going to take with you, that the practice of self-mastery and the practice of being able to connect connect back to yourself. Is this making sense? I will ask, I'm a big believer in experiential learning. I think it's really important to be able to participate as much as possible, because then you're active in the learning as opposed to being passive. So what I'm actually going to do, and in the moment I'm right now, I'm just burning a little bit of Palo Santo. Anyone who does not know who Palo Santo is, although I have a feeling that everyone here does, it's simply a piece of bark, and it's indigenous to South America. I'm actually South American myself. And there have been studies that show that the burning and the smoke that the Palo Santo lets out cleanses the air. The interaction of the smoke with the oxygen molecules cleanse the air. So I also love the smell. So we're talking about creating a sacred space, and that's one of the intentions that I have for our time together. And I'm going to give you one of the things that you need. If you have this, you can create sacred space in your bathroom, anywhere, truly. And what it is intention. Intention is the number one thing that you need to be able to create sacred space. That's it. And so, I was in Bali. I've been to Bali twice. And the first time that I went to Bali, I always just remember taken aback by the reverence that the people approached every single day with, and how they used any space. Like, I'm talking a crack in the gutter, and I'm not even being exaggerated, a motorcycle, like the little space in the motorcycle handlebars, any space was transformed into a sacred space, because where I was in Ubud, in this area of Indonesia and Bali, every single day there's someone in the village who's appointed, in the various villages, is appointed to create tiny little altars, and they're made out of, I think, banana leaves. And on the altar are these simple offerings, a flower, a little tiny bit of rice. And so I think when we create sacred space for ourselves, what it does is that it creates a marker for your psyche. It creates a reminder, like a physical reminder, for you to be able to come back and devote some time. And that's all it is. It's just devoting some time. So before I keep going, I want to open up the space. There's 8 of us on the line right now. And again, like I said, this is all about participating, being an active participant. Of course, I'm not going to force anyone. It's all as much as you want to be seen and heard. But for those of you that didn't get a chance to say hello, to just simply say your name, say maybe where you are, where you're joining us from. Maybe if there's one particular ritual, practice, exercise, thing that you do that helps you connect back to yourself, to your own sense of spirituality. Maybe you want to share that. Or simply just how you're feeling. That's all. Just keeping it really short, really brief. If anybody would like to say hello, I know Dolores, you already said hi, but you're totally welcome to. Again, part of my intention with creating this space was to create the feeling and the sense of community. Because what is so needed right now, apart from ourselves as individuals, to be able to feel safe, and really that's self-leadership, is also for us to come together in community so that we can feel a sense of connection, so we can feel a sense of support, and so we can just feel that we're not alone. So I'm opening up the space for whoever wants to just say hello. If you're camera shy, that's all good. If you just want to unmute yourself and simply share your name. Again, it could just be one word of how you're feeling or where you're calling from. So I'm going to take a sip of my tea and give you some time for whoever would like to perhaps say hi. And remember, you can mute yourself if you go to the left bottom corner. You can unmute yourself just by hitting the little mic. So.
Hi, Monica. This is Jyoti. How are you?
Hi, Jyoti. Good. How are you?
Great. Thank you. It's just very difficult times right now. I have an altar. And on my way out or on my way in, I always stop by my altar to ground myself. And I have just sitting here, I was thinking, oh, I should light my candle now to make the atmosphere more spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I have a singing bowl, so maybe go through that a few times to bring myself to be grounded.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I really love that that practice of every time that you walk out and walk into your house. That's correct, right?
Correct.
I feel like that's so anchoring, and it really is such a great reminder to create safety for yourself.
Right.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And where are you calling from?
I'm in New Jersey.
Mm.
Right. And we're in lockdown. Curfew.
Yeah, I believe in New
like
York
everywhere.
as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for hosting this.
You're so welcome. And thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
So I see that Susanna over here did a share in the chat. She's saying hello. She's here from Staten Island. This is a lovely connection. Apologies, you have to sign off early. Oh, no worries at all. You'll definitely get the recording. And, you know, for me, I'm all about tools. I think it's very important to have tools and to have things that we can come back to and to have different things that we can come back to. So you'll get the recording and you'll be able to rewatch it. And again, pull out what works for you, what you liked and what you want to reuse. All right, so anybody else want to say hello before I keep going? I'm gonna start moving into, and you guys, by the way, you can chat with each other on the chat. Like if somebody says something, or if you had an idea or some inspiration and you wanna share it, at any moment you could type into the chat. You can find the chat by scrolling on the bottom and you'll see the little bubble, it says chat. All right, so if anybody else want to tap me? I see you raising your hand, waving.
So right before we got locked down, I got these tuning forks. So there's just two. Can I play them for you?
Yes, please. Yeah, that'd be great.
So this is the one that grounds me. And this is what lifts me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having this.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I think is amazing is that I feel that out of this, and this was something that I was saying before 2020, like right before, I think around the solstice, I started to feel this energy that we would be entering a second renaissance, a second age of enlightenment. And part of the reason why I thought that, and I still think that, is because now more than ever, there are more people who are working for themselves or are more connected to their purpose, to their passion, and whether they're not fully in their business, they're doing it part-time or they're learning. And there's this resurgence of, first of all, there's so much information that's available, and definitely a resurgence of healers. You know, as we move through these times of a very quick and very big transition, people will need support. So this is really the ideal time. I love the synchronicity that you received the tuning forks before all of this happened, and now you have those tools with you is amazing. So we're here to really, I always say, we're here to lead ourselves first. And spirituality, spiritual practices for me really is, it's the foundation. Einstein said, everything is energy. And I believe that energy is spirit, right? It's what makes everything up. It's the animating force of everything. So for us to be able to just connect back with ourselves, and I think one really great clue to know if you're connected with yourself is if you're calm. If you're feeling focused and calm and centered enough to make very clear decisions, or act in a very deliberate manner, that's a sign that you're connected. And so we need that so very much on a daily basis, but especially now. So Joy shared that she has an altar. And now I would love to know who here already has an altar or has already thought of setting one up in their home. And if not the word altar, we could take that word out and just replace it with, a sacred space, a special corner, maybe a place where you're intending to use for your daily meditation practice or beginning a meditation practice. I do want to say that any level that you're at is perfect, and that we're all here again to learn from one another. So I'm just really curious, do you have an altar? Have you thought about setting one up, or a sacred space, a special space, a corner in your home? If you just want to type into the chat box and let me know, just because I'm curious. And for those of you that don't, I already shared with you the first thing that you need to set up sacred space is intention. It's just the deliberate intention of, I want to have a special designated area. And it doesn't have to be big, guys. I think sometimes we can let what feels like logistics hold us back everywhere in life, right? But an altar, again, remember what I shared about the people in Bali, tiny little things like this and banana leaves, it's just the intention, right? So just to give you some ideas of how you can start setting this up is you can use your windowsill, you can use a shelf, you can use, I actually use some of the shelves on my bookcases as altars as well. You can simply use the corner of your desk as an altar space, as a sacred space. You can even use, what's coming to me right now is a picture frame. You could actually take a piece of paper and write, "This is my sacred space." Mm-hmm. And put it in a picture frame. And then I think the second thing that you need in order to create sacred space in your home, besides the intention, is an object. Any object, an object that you yourself deem as important and as special. Now, I myself have altars all over my house. I'm on my laptop, so I can't take the laptop and show you, but I have a special love altar that is just dedicated to the intention of creating partnership, soul partnership. I have an altar on a bookshelf that's simply dedicated to tools that are from South America, like rattles. I have my main altar that has most of my plant medicines that I partake of, singing bowl, I'm looking over there right now, crystals, but it doesn't have to be a special object that you have to go to a special store and buy. Again, it's just the intention, and it's really choosing something that has meaning for you. So if right now you really want to feel connected to, say, a family member that you're not that is living in a different state, different country, just different part of the same city that you're in, maybe using a photograph of those family members could be a good idea. Maybe if you've started a business and you really would like to feel a sense of security, a sense of peace with your work, then maybe having that represents something that represents your business, having something that represents your business, like your business card, or if you have something that's more established, maybe checks for your business bank account. Really, you see what I'm saying? Like, whatever you choose, it can be mundane. It can be a mundane object. It's just the intentionality behind your choice. And the reason why I do recommend an object is because, again, the mind needs markers. We are physical, material, flesh and bone beings, apart from being spiritual beings. And so we respond to material things. And so it's important to have an object. It also helps to, for you to set the intention when you're going to sit down and maybe do a meditation or just do a prayer, or, simply just an affirmation, affirming words. And affirmations are so, so, so powerful. I feel like I could do a whole class on just affirmations. So those are the two things you need. You need intention and you need an object. Any object, and bring those together. Now, I can give you some ideas, definitely flowers, candles. I've already mentioned Palo Santo, incense, maybe a special beautiful piece of cloth, feathers, anything that has meaning to you. And you don't need a lot of space. So what I would love for you to do is, when this is done, if you don't already have an altar, and by the way, you heard me say I have lots of altars. If you want to set a special altar or sacred space for this time right now, like this is going to be my safe haven, slice of heaven, peace of mind altar. The intention that I'm setting with this altar is that when I see it, I'm reminded to do an activity that's going to allow me to feel connected back to myself. And I'm going to start moving the conversation into, like, how do you do that? What does that mean? I think, and again, wherever you are is perfect on your journey. Some people, maybe meditation's new for you. Maybe the concept of spirituality is also new. Maybe there's a desire to want to really deepen whatever practice you've established, whether it was last year or, 15 years ago, whatever it is. Let's keep in mind that we're evolving beings. We are not meant to do the same thing over and over and over again in the same exact way. And this is something that I talk about specifically for people who are in business and perhaps have been in business for a while, who have not changed the way they're doing things. And so it's really important, not only as a business leader, as a person, to allow yourself to do things differently and to change. Okay, so wherever you're at is perfect. Does this make sense? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Let me know. Again, if it's a yes, you could type in yes. I wish there was like a thumb. Oh my gosh, we are so connected, Tammy. I was just gonna say, I wish there was a thumbs up, and you gave me the thumbs up. That's so cool. See, we're just connected here for about 30 minutes and already we're feeling connected. So again, let me know if at any point something doesn't make sense. Janet, you're saying great ideas. Good. Thank you. I would love to have just a little more interaction. If you're doing something else, I invite you to come and be here, be present. Let me know if you have questions as I share something, or if I say something that doesn't make sense, I can clarify it. Okay. All right, so let's talk about connection. Let's talk about how do we connect, how do we get back connected to our own sense of self, right? We've already talked about why this is important, actually crucial right now, is to really feel connected with ourselves, right? So how do we actually do that? Now, I've given you some clues as to when you know that you're connected. Sometimes to know the essence of something, it's helpful to know what it is not, right? So some clues that you might be disconnected are that you are anxious, that you don't feel comfortable, that you're maybe feeling suppressed, that you don't feel that you can express yourself, you don't feel safe, you don't feel in your body. You often find that you're thinking a lot of thoughts, many things. I actually have an overactive mind myself, so this is why I know these things. And also, our emotions are such great guides for us to just check in. So I think I'm going to give you a practice right now, and it's really, really simple. And it simply is throughout the day, especially as we continue moving through these days, through these times, when you wake up, maybe, and you could do this maybe with your meals, right? With breakfast, with lunch, with dinner, or when you wake up, just finding 3 times around the day, we just ask yourself, how am I doing? How do I feel? How's my body? How's my mind? Where's my emotional state right now? Just to simply ask yourself, how am I? Where am I when it comes to my body, my mind, and my spirit? Spirit, your emotions, your mind. And to just do a check-in with yourself, because I think it's really easy to get distracted, really easy to still, life still goes on, we're still alive. I know many, many, many people who are focusing on work, especially if you work for yourself. I know some people, I guess there's people in all different kinds of situations right now, right? So there's a lot of things on all of our minds. That's something that I can say, right? So check in with yourself. And depending on where you are, then you know, what could I be doing so that I can connect back? So here are some ways that you can connect back. And again, does this make sense? If at any point I say something doesn't make sense, let me know. So one really great way to connect back is simply through your body. Now, one of the tools that I use for myself daily with my clients in my sessions, anytime I lead anything, is always using the breath, always using that mindfulness of breathing and using my hands to help me figure out if I'm breathing as fully as I can. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you a type of breath right now that you can literally stop, set your timer for 5 minutes and do it for 5 minutes. You can open your eyes, literally sit up in bed and give yourself a couple of these breaths. I guarantee you that it's going to relax your nervous system. Most of us, listen, if you're human, most likely is that you're having moments of anxiety or panic. The other thing that I want to say is mentally, you might be okay. Our bodies do a lot of processing for us. Like, I'll give you an example. I got back, I was actually out of the country for 2 months, and I just got back last Wednesday night at midnight. I noticed that like by Friday, I was just like going to the bathroom a lot. And, I was telling myself that I was fine, but my nervous system was absorbing whatever I was watching and experiencing, and my digestion was totally off. So just paying attention to yourself, that's all, like extra attention. How's my digestion? Am I sleeping well? Checking in with yourself every single day. So here's the tool. Breath work. This kind of breath work is called biodynamic breath work. It is called that because it uses the energy of your entire body. Maybe when we were doing the grounding exercise in the beginning, you might have noticed that your breath was maybe getting caught in certain parts of your body. Like maybe you couldn't really breathe past your chest, or sometimes some people can't breathe past their throat, or just noticing that, oh, my exhale is longer than the inhale, which by the way is very common. So the idea is that we're bringing breath into our bodies more so than we normally do. We're increasing the level of oxygen now. I think breath work right now is such a great tool because specifically this virus attacks the lungs. So what better way than to be practicing the elasticity of your lungs every single day with a couple of breaths. Now, the main difference with this type of breath work is that it's done through an open mouth. Why? Because it's just a bigger opening, more oxygen can come in. Because there's an increase in oxygen, what's going to happen is you might feel sensations that you're not used to. For example, you might start feeling tingling in your hands, or maybe you start to feel cold or warm, and it's just simply your body chemistry reacting with the oxygen. So I recommend that you give yourself a little bit of a massage on your jaw. So you can just take both of your hands, massage your jaw. This feels really, really good because we never really massage our jaws, right? It's like you go get a massage. Nobody ever really massages your jaw. So go ahead, just give yourself a massage from the top of your temples, down your jawline, through your chin, and back up. Okay, and the next thing that I want you to do is to open your mouth wide and just move your jaw from side to side. You might hear some cracking. It looks like this. It's very attractive, but it feels really good. So go ahead and let yourself just open your jaw, move it from side to side. The jaw is it's actually the second biggest joint. Is that correct? I believe it's one of the biggest joints in the body, obviously after your hips. And it's also a place where we store a lot of energy, right? Hence those sayings, bite your lip, bite your tongue. Sometimes we hold back from expressing ourselves, and that energy, when we really feel that we really want to say something and we don't, it doesn't just disappear. Like sometimes it actually it just goes back into the body, and this is when we start to feel tension and tightness and all sorts of other things when energy becomes matter. Yeah. So go ahead, open your mouth, stick your tongue out. It's gonna look like lion's breath. Now you're gonna breathe in and out through your mouth. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show you. The main thing to remember here is you just want to keep your mouth open. You don't want to force or push your breath. You just want to allow it in. And when we're babies, we actually breathe through our mouth. So one thing that's going to help you is taking one hand, placing it over your heart, taking another hand, placing it over your belly. I'm going to really exaggerate this. Let me tilt this so you can see if you can see me. I'm going to exaggerate this. You can't really see my belly, but you can see my chest. And the way that it looks is as I breathe in, everything's gonna puff up and expand. And as I breathe out, I'm gonna deflate. So here I go. So go ahead and try it if you still have not started breathing this way. As I just guide you through, I want you to really connect to the sound of your breath. When I was breathing, you could really hear my breath, and that's what you want. You want to be able to really hear your breath as you breathe in through your mouth and as you breathe out through your mouth. As you breathe in, imagine that you have this big, big balloon that you're filling up with oxygen. And as you breathe out, it deflates. As you exhale, as you breathe in, you're expanding your lungs, expanding your belly, breathing all the way in. As you breathe out through your mouth, you're exhaling, letting go, and bringing everything in. So you're creating this rhythm of breathing in and out, and you're using your hands to guide your breath, your hand over your heart and your hand over your belly. And as you breathe in, really feeling that you're pushing your hand away from your body as your chest expands, and you're also pushing the hand on your belly away from your body as you breathe in. So you're breathing in through your mouth, connecting to the sound of your breath as you breathe in. And you're exhaling out through your mouth. And I want you to imagine an ocean wave. Imagine if you were standing right at the shore of an ocean. And as you're breathing, this wave rolls to shore. And as you're exhaling, the wave rolls back out to sea. And the next wave prepares to roll back in as you inhale. And as you exhale, the wave just rolls back out to sea. So it's one continuous wave of breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Just being mindful, using your hands to guide your breath as you breathe in and as you exhale. Just allowing yourself to just notice if your breath gets stuck anywhere, just allowing your hand to start to guide the breath wherever it feels like it's getting stuck. So if, for example, it feels like your breath is getting stuck right in the center of your chest, maybe putting a couple of fingers there. And the idea is that you really keep your mouth open, right? We're not forcing, we're not pushing, we're just gently allowing the oxygen to make its way in all the way through the lungs, through your chest into your belly, and then back out. And just knowing that there's nothing that you're doing wrong, that everything is perfect. Your body actually has body memory of breathing this way. As babies, we breathe through our mouths. And sometimes when you're fully present, like when you're engaged in sex or dance or a very strenuous physical activity, that your body automatically starts to breathe through your mouth. And so we're simply coming back to this primal body memory as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And so slowly beginning to bring your breath back to normal breathing through your nose. And I always recommend that it's good to do these exercises with your eyes closed, because then you can really notice what's going on. And at this point, just check in with how your body feels. And I would love to hear, maybe in the chat, if you want to share, what was that experience like? Did you notice that your breath got stuck? Do you have a question about that type of breathing? Of course, you can come back to the recording and practice that breath. If you allow yourself to do this even once a day for 5 minutes, you're going to notice that you are going to be more relaxed. You're going to notice that you're going to be more present. Now, there's another really wonderful exercise. And by the way, I'm going to send you a list of resources because I can't cover everything here. But I'm going to send you a list of resources with the recording of this Zoom so that you can check other things out. But a really great other exercise that you can do is simply to stand with your feet hip distance apart, and everything soft knees, soft shoulders, and to simply shake and breathe. Right now, I'm not standing, but it looks like this, right? It's just shaking, and you focus on the exhale. Awesome, Tammy, yes, I see that you're shaking everything. Now, Tammy, I can see her video, and she's shaking her wrists and her arms and her legs, and she's actually laying on her back, which is great. But if you want to really feel a sense of like groundedness at any point where you feel like you're anxious or not present, you can simply stand and do this exercise. This is part of an active meditation by Osho. I'm a big fan of Osho. My breathwork certification, a lot of it was based on the work of Osho. For anyone who doesn't know who he was an Indian mystic, and his idea the concept is that in order to get to a place of stillness, we first had to go through chaos. So actually use chaos to arrive at a place of peace, which is so perfect for these times, right? So I'm gonna share with you a list of resources. Now, I wanna leave you with simple exercises that you can do. And this is specifically for those of you who are alone. Now, I myself don't have a family, I don't have children, I don't have a partner. I live alone and actually don't have pets. I heard from a friend recently that there was a spike in pet adoption. Believe me, I was very tempted to go out and get a cat. And then I thought, okay, wait a minute. You travel a lot. You can't put the cat on your lap in the plane. And, you know, I'm not going to put a cat in, or any animal in storage on a plane. So anyways, if you're by yourself, or if you're simply just like really needing to feel your connection to yourself, again, we're flesh and bone, we're material, and sometimes we check out. And you know that you're checked out because you're in your mind, right? So really simple. Dance, movement, walking, that shaking meditation, which is actually Kundalini meditation, is wonderful. Not only will it release your anxiety, but it will also energize you and give you focus. And another really great thing that I love to do is baths. Like just the feeling of warmth all around you. There's something also very primal that I think happens to humans when we're in water, right? Because it's that sense of the original place of safety, right? Our mother's womb. So taking baths right now is so good. If you don't have a bath, or if you don't like baths, hot showers, and also something that you can do as a practice outside of baths and showers is just a warm towel bath, like simply putting, you know, heating up some water, maybe using some essential oils. If you don't have essential oils, that's okay. You might want to do research on this, but this just came to me right now. Maybe orange peels or lime peels, maybe like just squeezing some of the zest, some of the oil from oranges. I think a lot of us are eating oranges these days, right, for the extra vitamin C. Orange or lime, and just putting that in water. But if you do have essential oils, awesome. And again, everything is all about intention. It really is, what are you bringing to your activities? You know, what mindfulness, what presence of self are you bringing to your activities? You know, I think that there's been this big misconception that meditation has to be done in this specific way, which is one of the reasons why I love Osho, because he just came up with all these wacky ways of meditating, and they work. They work because they allow you to really be present through the use of your body. So the more that we can really give ourselves that self-love, that self-soothing, right? That self-touch, massage is really important. Self-massage, right? Anything that's going to allow you to really connect with your own skin and with your own sense and feeling of, I'm here for myself, right? And then just know that we truly are blessed, that nowadays we are so connected through all these digital social media platforms, and that we can make a date with someone, with a friend, with a girlfriend. You can maybe decide that you're going to do a yoga class or a yoga sequence together on Zoom, or maybe sit and make some collages or painting, right? So the idea, number one, connect with yourself, do what you need to do those self check-ins, really be able to set aside, that to create that altar space, right? So that's one of your homeworks is pick a place in your home. It doesn't have to be a big space. It could be a bookshelf. It could be your windowsill. It could be any corner. Pick a space. You can even maybe designate one of your night tables as your altar space. And then decide what the intention is going to be for your sacred space. And one of the things that I recommend is, what is it that you need to hear right now? Like, what would really have you know and trust that you're safe, that you're good? What is it that you need to hear? And you can even write that out as an affirmation. Again, I mentioned using a picture frame, writing that out, maybe your intention on a picture frame, taking an object that you can use to really anchor your space, right? A friend of mine was here earlier. I am social distancing, guys. I have one neighbor who has really been my saving grace. She lives 2 blocks away. And she's in school at FIT for painting, and she needed a model. So I was her model. And, you know, we were talking, and oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought for a second. It'll come back to me. But there was a reason why I was mentioning her. It was something that she said that reminded me of something I wanted to share with you. So really choose that intention, choose your object. Now I remember. I said to her, wow, we have really gotten back time. Like the time that we would have taken in commuting to go, whether to a job or just to any other physical location for appointments or meetings or whatever, that we've gained that time because we're home and most of us are staying really local. Some people aren't leaving their homes at all. And some people are just going like to the supermarket mostly, or to like go do some exercise near home. But all of us have gained time, you know, like at least 3 hours of time. And so let's be intentional about this gift of time that we have. Make it your priority to set aside time for yourself. And if you have people you're sharing your space with, family members, children, even more so, again, remember I said, it's the intention. You can have maybe a shelf inside of your bathroom cabinet that is your secret sacred space, and just knowing that maybe you're going to take a shower and just imagining yourself being exactly as you're intending, as that affirmation that you need right now, right? So making it a priority, right? So that's your homework, is to find the space, find your object, set the intention, and then make the time. Maybe the bathroom shelf altar idea isn't so amazing because you can't see it unless when you open the cabinet, right, to take out the toothpaste or whatever. But make it a priority to set the time for yourself. As soon as you wake up, a couple of deep breaths, 3 times a day, checking in. How am I doing physically? How's my digestion? How am I sleeping? Where's my emotional state? Doing that, 3 times a day, or at least once, checking in with yourself, because I really do believe that, and this is especially for the people who already consider themselves spiritual leaders, or leaders in some way in your community, or for your family, with your clients, that we are going to be asked to show up at the next level of leadership. We already are, we already are, with all of these very fast changes and guidelines that we're following to keep ourselves healthy, right? So I think that in the coming days, in the coming months, years perhaps, as things continue to shift, because again, we are, and I believe this with all my heart, we are inside of a historic time in our evolution as human beings, as a race on this planet. And so things are going to change. And how wonderful to be able to show up because you're fully present, because you've shown up for yourself first. And that is what staying spiritual is all about. It really is just staying connected to yourself, staying connected to your intentions, and being really deliberate, really, really deliberate. So I would love to hear from everyone. I know everyone's been a little quiet today, and that's okay, that's perfect. But if there was something that I shared that resonated for you, if while I was sharing, there was like, aha, I do that, or I have a practice that I love to do, and maybe I want to share it here, it would be so appreciated if you want to just unmute yourself. Again, you can unmute yourself by going over to the left. You can see the little mic button and you can unmute yourself there. If you want to share your video, you can. You don't have to. I know we have a video shy bunch. All good. No judgment at all. I'm just kind of used to being on video because of my business, right? So if you feel inspired, come on over. If you want to share anything about today, yeah.
Oh, am I on? I'm
Oh, you
on. I want to tell you that when you were talking about the altar, I feel like right now my entire apartment is an altar because I'm creating these 1-minute movement rituals that I'm going to start posting tomorrow, like every day. So I've done a whole bunch, and every one is done in a different piece of furniture in a different place in the house, and so my whole apartment is becoming this like very deliberate thing.
I love that. I love that so much. And you know what's so cool about that too is that you're really present in your space because you're using your space, and then you're marking that space with this intention and this physicality in the pose.
Yes. And I'll be cleaning each space, so that's good too.
Oh, you're fun. You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having this.
Yeah, you're welcome. So for anybody on here who is maybe thinking or has thought of finally starting their business, or thinking of how do you actually use this time to transition? How do you evolve your business, right? I have one of the cornerstones of my work is to help you match your business to your personal evolution. And now oftentimes we forget to do this. And now that we're all going through this very big transition, is really an ideal time to look at how can you actually evolve the way that you serve other people. So if that's you, if you have been wanting to, now as we're moving into week 2 of quarantine and really creating our new normal life for now, I would love to invite you to come and join me over in my Facebook group. I will be sending the link with the recording as well. It is a Business Evolution for Spiritual Leaders. And you can join me. I'm going to be doing some free coaching and mentoring around both spirituality and business development, especially when it comes to evolving during these transition times, and how do you actually get your work out there. So I would love to hear your thoughts after this. For anyone that gets the recording, if you have any suggestions or anything that you want to share with me, I'm happy to hear it. And I'm just wishing everyone peace in your heart, just really a knowing and a trust that all is truly unfolding for the highest good always, and in divine timing and order. So thank you so much. Good night, everyone.